When I learned how to do basic blacksmithing skills, I was really drawn to the physicality of it, and that it was so visceral. There's sound, there's the sound of the hammer hitting the anvil, there's the sound of the hammer hitting the steel while it's hot, and while that steel cools down, it sounds different. It goes from dull to brighter sound. The smells, if you're working with coal, you get this really earthy, rich smell of the coal burning, and then the color of the smoke of the coal, the color of the fire, the color of the flames. And then it's just so active. Not only the material, to get it all right and to go right all at once and to master it takes years and years and years. This project, I was working with a Catholic-based organization, and it was really important for them to have a work of art that reflected their spirituality and the spiritual nature of their organization and their vision of their organization. There's 7 Catholic sensibilities that I looked at, and one of them is kind of more of a modern concept, and it's stewardship of God's creation. I wanted to focus on an artwork that reflected and showed the regional landscape of the area. So in the piece, the bottom of the piece kind of starts out in the desert and then moves to the high plain and then sort of more agricultural, and then it kind of moves up into the foothills, and then the Boise National Forest, and then there's a tree line, and then there's the sky, which is cast in glass. This is a sample panel that I made for the presentation I did in front of the investors when I went to propose my idea, so that everybody could get a really good idea of the work, the quality of the work, the construction of how the artwork would go together. And once the client decides, then the work gets scaled up. For the installation, we organized a great deal before we even got to the site. We made sure that each piece was wrapped up. We took, great care to make sure that the glass was wrapped, and all the frames and all the panels, the medallion panels, and we organized all of that so that when we got to the site, we were able to unload everything in order. I broke the design up into the top section and a bottom section so that the pieces, everything could be handled by myself or with another person. Because it was a construction site still, we were able to work with the lead on construction there, and he arranged for us to use the scissor lift. Working on concepts for healthcare, it's important to think about the viewer, not only patients, but employees and staff of the building, and of course, visitors that come into the facility. I like it because artwork in a hospital, you're getting people from all experiences in life and cultures and age groups and people that don't necessarily have ever maybe even walked into a museum or into an art gallery. Art is just not part of their lives. And all of a sudden, they walk into a hospital and they're hopefully noticing things. They have time to sit down and contemplate. The Stewardship of the Creation is the main artwork that you see when you first walk into the atrium and the welcoming reception desk at the new hospital. That's the exciting thing, is when you stand back and you see the whole thing in place and where it's going to live from here on out. This particular artwork, I was only able to see it laying flat on my work tables in my studio. So it's quite rewarding when you step back and get to see it the way it's supposed to be.